Aries, hi. This will be a reading for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Feel free to like and subscribe if it resonates, and let's just dive in. So you're represented by the Queen of Cups. I think that you're probably feeling very content within yourself. You could also have a very clear sight of your vision and what is sort of meaningful to you, what you're wanting to invest yourself in. It's sort of following the heart's desire. You could also, I would say, be connecting with people that you resonate with. If not several people, probably just like a specific person, but you know, overall there's sort of a sense of collaboration, celebration, and coming together. Now, I do think that there's probably certain aspects or situations on your mind that you are contemplating or waiting to see how things sort of unfold. I think you're kind of embracing the unknown and also probably overcoming any doubts, fears, insecurities, things like that. But again, there's a lot of communication, movement, information coming in that is seemingly very positive. I mean, even ahead of you, you have the star and the sun. So this would suggest a very like confident, radiant energy. This would suggest a sense of healing, of optimism towards your future. You know, I mean, this is an incredibly positive what is to come kind of. So like you're really sort of stepping into this chapter that feels super empowering and kind of, you know, where you're sort of meant to be, or where you feel like you're sort of meant to be. You have judgment in your perspective. So this to me is sort of you deciding to step into your new self, your new life. This marks the beginning and the end, right? So leaving behind what once was, letting go of the past, the old you, the old circles even, and really starting to embrace this sun and star energy, this new sort of radiant confidence. And I want to say, I do feel like there's another person or other people that are relevant, because the outcome, it does suggest passionate communications and not being alone in your sort of creative endeavors or in building this next chapter. I also want to say, you're in the outside influence, there is a sense of stability and strength. Also strategic. You know, I kind of get the impression of someone who is probably wise, experienced, maybe older, but also with some of the cards that I pulled for it, I get kind of a pessimistic point of view, or someone who is maybe cautious when it comes to people, or cautious when it comes to like navigating circumstances. Like, because that Seven of Swords, I'm not taking it as necessarily sneaky in a malicious way, especially with everything that it's paired with. It's more so someone who knows how to navigate situations wisely, someone who doesn't get ahead of themselves, someone who is calculated, cautious, and just sort of tries their best to be aware. You have death in the fears and passions. So in a lot of ways, there could be fear around the changes you're making. Yeah, you know, because especially when you sort of step into a higher sense of oneself or direction or whatever, it can often be uncomfortable. And so learning to navigate that can be, you know, stressful. And like, but also with the fears and passions, it's like what you hope for and what you wouldn't hope for. So you're hoping for change, you're hoping for evolution, you're hoping to step into that role that is maybe a bit unfamiliar. I want to pull some advice. Before I do that, I want to take a moment to promote my Patreon. That is where all the extended versions of these readings go, as well as other exclusive content, and also grants you access to monthly art prints. If you want to book a personal reading with me, I have several options for personal readings available on my website and the shop. Again, feel free to like and subscribe, and so on. All right, let's see what we get for advice. Interesting. So I don't know if it kind of suggests to be a bit conservative in your approach to things. It's interesting, like, or like if you need to leave something behind or let go of certain people or things, or like maybe I need to simplify. It's sort of encouraging you to destroy the old foundation and go on the adventure ahead. And there could be sort of a sense of keeping discipline in your momentum and sort of like navigating through difficulties or situations that you're not really familiar with, or you're not quite sure how to navigate. Sort of a learning as you go. Sorry if that gets loud. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I guess it's like a plane or something. Anyway, if you sort of dare to take the challenge, right, and you sort of allow yourself to step into this new role, because that's the thing, is like with any sort of new process or experience, it's going to come with those learning curves and everything else, and it does sort of suggest to pay close attention to that, particularly with any given situation that you may be more anxious about, you know. And it's also, if you've been in this sort of process of healing or bouncing back or trying to sort of like evolve, and it's been sort of challenging, it's kind of suggesting it's time to, you know, get out of bed and go into the world. It's, you know, you've done a lot of work, and so now it's time to start inviting in the new chapter, whereas before maybe it was more about reflecting and sort of understanding what that even meant. Now that you sort of have a sense of clarity, I would say it's time to take action. Yeah, like a clear focus on the goal and just sort of taking the steps necessary to make whatever it is move forward. So Aries, I hope this was helpful for you. Definitely feel free to like and subscribe. I'm going to take this over to the extended reading on my Patreon. If you want to access that, it is there's a link in the description below. Again, if you want to book a personal reading, I have several options for personal readings available. And I hope you have a great day. See you soon, Aries.